Have you ever had a dream so vivid that for a moment it felt more real than waking life? A dream where you suddenly became aware, not just watching the dream unfold, but actively participating in it, shaping the world around you, flying through limitless skies, or speaking directly with beings who seem to know you better than you know yourself. That wasn't just a dream. That was a gateway. In this video, we're going to explore how lucid dreaming, when fused with the timeless practice of meditation, becomes a portal, not just to deeper self-awareness, but to the very fabric of universal wisdom. We'll dive into ancient teachings, modern methods, and even the hidden techniques of astral projection shared by mystics like Ophiel to reveal how your dream life might just be the most powerful untapped resource for growth and enlightenment you've ever known. In today's world, where distractions dominate our waking hours and anxiety hijacks our inner peace, we rarely get the chance to be still, let alone explore the inner universe that unfolds every night behind closed eyes. But lucid dreaming offers us that chance. It begins simply, a flicker of awareness while dreaming. You realize that you're dreaming, but that spark is more than self-recognition, it's a spiritual ignition. The moment you become conscious in a dream, you step into a deeper layer of reality where thoughts manifest instantly, fears reveal themselves in symbolic form, and insights about your waking life bubble up from the subconscious like treasure rising from the depths. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need any special talent or mystical initiation to do this. Lucid dreaming is a natural human ability. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. The most effective way to build that skill? Meditation, because at the heart of both lucid dreaming and meditation is the same goal: presence, mindfulness, the quiet ability to witness your thoughts without judgment and gently return your awareness to the moment. In fact, some of the world's most ancient spiritual systems, from Tibetan dream yoga to modern Western mysticism, have long taught that the dreaming state is not an escape, but a classroom, a place where the soul learns. Ophiel, the author of The Art and Practice of Astral Projection, describes how visualization, repetition, and symbolic intention can launch the astral body, or dreaming body, into realms beyond the physical. He teaches that we are not bound by space and time as we perceive them in waking life. Instead, we are consciousness, fluid, curious, and capable of travel beyond the veil of form. Lucid dreaming, in this way, becomes not just entertainment, but evolution. So what's the first step? It begins before sleep. The way you enter the dream world determines how conscious you are within it. And this is where meditation becomes the key. Try this. Before bed, sit in silence for 10 minutes. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Focus on your breath. As thoughts arise, and they will, simply notice them, then return to your breath. After a few minutes, begin to visualize yourself in a dream. Any dream. Imagine touching the walls, walking through a surreal landscape, or even speaking to a dream character. And then say to yourself, "Tonight I will realize I am dreaming." That simple intention, combined with a meditative calm, will begin to plant seeds of awareness deep in your subconscious. This ritual is more than preparation. It's a kind of mental training that bridges the waking and dreaming mind. As Ophiel puts it, the astral body obeys the same rules of attention and repetition as any other trained part of your being. In other words, if you practice awareness, you become aware. In dreams, in waking life, and eventually even in the liminal spaces in between. But here's where things get truly powerful. Once you are lucid, once you know you are dreaming, you can use that moment to explore deeper truths. Not just fly or manipulate the dream world, but ask questions. Big ones. Why am I here? What do I need to heal? What is my soul trying to tell me? And you'll be surprised by the answers that come. Some may appear as symbols, some as guides or mysterious voices, and others as subtle feelings that you carry with you upon waking. In the tradition of Carl Jung and the concept of the collective unconscious, dreams are not just reflections of your mind, but access points to a shared repository of human experience. These are the archetypes, ancient recurring patterns and symbols that connect all of us. And when you become lucid, you can explore them directly. Meet them, dialogue with them, and if you approach them with humility and curiosity, you may discover wisdom far beyond anything you've read in a book. This is where dream work transcends the self. It becomes a bridge to something bigger. Some call it God, others Source, some call it the universal mind. Whatever language you choose, the experience is the same. A knowing that you are part of something vast and intelligent, and that this awareness has always been waiting for you to wake up. And you don't have to do this alone. There are tools. A dream journal by your bed is essential. The moment you wake up, write down everything, even fragments. Over time, patterns emerge, recurring themes, emotional echoes, messages. Combine this with regular meditation, and you begin to notice something beautiful. Your waking life starts to feel like a dream, and your dreams begin to feel more alive. This is integration, and it's one of the most overlooked spiritual practices in the modern world. But perhaps the most empowering part of this journey is the realization that the wisdom you seek is already within you. Every lucid dream is a reflection of your inner landscape. Every guide you meet is a facet of your deeper self. And every message, no matter how strange or symbolic, is an invitation to grow, to evolve, and to remember who you truly are. Now imagine this. You've just awoken inside your dream. The world feels both familiar and surreal. Your feet touch the ground, but gravity feels optional. The colors around you are more vibrant, the air electric with possibility. You remember, this is a dream, and I'm aware. In that moment, your mind isn't bound by the same laws that govern waking life. Time stretches, distance collapses, and the deeper aspects of your consciousness begin to speak in images, metaphors, and symbols. But how do you make sense of it all? Here's where understanding dream language becomes essential. The dream world doesn't always speak in clear dialogue. It speaks in emotion, sensation, and archetype. You might dream of a crumbling staircase. It's not just a random image. It could symbolize fear of decline or the breakdown of old patterns. You might encounter a glowing figure offering you a key, a direct invitation to unlock something buried within. And while modern psychology might analyze these as aspects of the subconscious, mystics and ancient seers see them as guides, emissaries of a deeper truth you're being called to explore. Ophiel wrote that the astral realms, once accessed through projection or lucid dreaming, contain zones, different vibrational levels of reality, each corresponding to a state of mind. When your dreams become lucid, you're not just wandering a playground of your imagination. You're shifting into these zones, experiencing slices of a broader, multi-dimensional reality. That's why intention is critical. What you bring into a dream shapes what you receive. If you enter with curiosity and peace, you'll often be met with clarity and insight. Enter with fear or anger, and the dream will often reflect those back to you until you face and transmute them. This reflective nature makes lucid dreaming a profound tool for shadow work, the process of confronting your hidden fears, repressed desires, and unresolved pain. For example, if you dream of being chased or lost, it might be your unconscious mind calling attention to an aspect of yourself you've ignored. When lucid, you can stop running. You can face the pursuer. And often, what seemed threatening transforms into something familiar, even sacred. Many who practice this kind of work report a deep sense of release, healing, and integration, sometimes in just one powerful dream. Now let's talk about what happens after the dream. Because the real transformation doesn't happen while you're flying or walking through walls. It happens when you wake up and remember. The more attention you give your dreams, the more they will give you in return. Think of it as a relationship, and like any good relationship, communication is key. That's why dream journaling is not optional. It's vital. But don't just record events. Reflect. Ask, what was this dream trying to show me? Why did I meet this character? Why did I feel that emotion? Over time, you'll begin to notice recurring themes. Maybe it's water, symbolizing emotion or the unknown. Maybe it's abandoned buildings, often a sign of neglected potential or memories. And maybe you'll notice dreams that seem to pick up where others left off. This is a powerful sign that you're entering a higher level of dream lucidity, one where the subconscious begins to operate more like a second life than isolated nightly fragments. Meditation supercharges this process. In meditation, especially practices focused on breath awareness, body scanning, or guided visualization, You learn to calm the monkey mind, and it's in that calm that the dream work roots itself more deeply. As the boundary between waking and dreaming begins to blur, many experience spontaneous wake-induced lucid dreams, or wilds, transitions where the body falls asleep but the mind stays awake and you step into the dream. These transitions often feel like slipping through a veil or entering a warm magnetic portal. In some cases, people report hearing a buzzing or feeling vibrations as the shift happens, a phenomenon often described in astral projection accounts as well. This overlap between lucid dreaming and astral projection is important. While they are not always the same, lucid dreams often occur in the personal dream realm, while astral projection explores broader non-physical planes. They both involve the conscious separation of awareness from the physical body. And both require the same ingredients: stillness, focus, intention, and surrender. Ophiel emphasized that astral travel was not reserved for mystics or sages. It was a practice, a method. And with consistent effort, anyone could learn to access higher planes of existence through their own consciousness. What does this mean for your spiritual journey? It means you're no longer dependent on external authorities for wisdom. You don't need to attend a retreat or read 100 books, though those things help. But the ultimate temple is within. Your dreams, when explored with clarity and care, become a sacred library, a mirror to your soul's growth. Meditation is the key to access. Lucidity is the method. And reflection is the bridge that integrates the lessons into your waking life. Now picture this. You've just returned from a lucid dream where you stood before a massive gate made of light. A voice told you that to open it, you must release what no longer serves. You wake up. That message lingers, it echoes, and as you sit in meditation that morning, the words return. But now they're attached to a memory, a relationship, a habit. You realize this wasn't just a dream, it was guidance, a direct insight from your higher self, or perhaps even something greater. And as you journal it, speak it aloud, and begin to act on it, you change, you evolve, you become more whole. This is what it means to explore universal wisdom through lucid dreaming. It's not just about having cool dreams or flying through fantasy worlds. It's about aligning your conscious and unconscious minds. It's about becoming the bridge between waking and sleeping, between the earthly and the divine. When done consistently, this work changes how you see the world. Suddenly, synchronicities appear more often, intuition sharpens, emotional reactions soften, and life itself begins to feel more purposeful, more symbolic, more alive. You're not just here to survive, you're here to awaken, to remember, to see clearly. And lucid dreaming, fused with meditation, is one of the most powerful and overlooked tools available to do just that. And so, as we begin to see dreams not just as subconscious imagery, but as doorways into the symbolic language of the soul, a quiet shift begins to take place. You start to wake up, not just within the dream, but within your life. The colors around you become more vivid, your thoughts more intentional, your emotions more tempered. Because once you've danced with the abstract in your dreams, it becomes harder to be fooled by the distractions of waking life. This is the power of lucid dreaming fused with meditative awareness. It awakens you on both sides of the veil. Many who walk this path begin to notice synchronicities that defy logical explanation. You dream of a stranger offering you advice, only to meet someone eerily similar days later who speaks the same message. You see symbols in your dreams, an eagle, a spiral, a crumbling tower, and then encounter them in books, conversations, or even graffiti on the street. These are not coincidences, but echoes of the collective unconscious rippling into your waking reality. Carl Jung called this meaningful coincidence, and once you become attuned, these signs become guideposts on your inner journey. As your practice deepens, your dreams evolve too. They may become less about fantastical control, flying or bending reality, and more about insight, healing, and discovery. Instead of trying to manipulate the dream, you learn to listen to it, to engage with it like a mentor, to ask it questions. You begin to realize that the dream has intelligence of its own, that it's not just your subconscious mind echoing back fears and desires, but perhaps something greater, a dialogue with the deeper self, or even with the cosmos itself. Some dreamers report encounters with luminous beings, entities who radiate calm, ancient wisdom, and seem to exist purely to guide and instruct. Others find themselves in vast libraries filled with glowing scrolls or sacred texts, intuitively knowing that this knowledge isn't just imaginary, it's symbolic access to a deeper truth. Whether these elements are manifestations of your higher mind or visitors from a shared spiritual realm, their message is the same. You are more than your body. You are consciousness, capable of infinite awareness and growth. To anchor these transcendent experiences into daily life, a simple but powerful practice is dream journaling. Not just recording what happened, but how it made you feel. What themes kept repeating? What symbols stood out? Over time, your journal becomes your personal scripture, a record of your evolution. You may begin to notice patterns, that you always dream of storms before big life changes, or that water represents emotional clarity for you. This is your unique dream language. Decoding it takes time, but the rewards are profound. But even more essential than dream journaling is integration. It's not enough to have profound experiences if they remain in the realm of theory. What insight did your dream offer about your relationships, your fears, your calling? What action will you take because of what you've learned? Integration is where wisdom is born. It's the sacred act of weaving the dream world and the waking world into a single conscious tapestry. And it all circles back to meditation. Meditation is not just a tool for calming the mind. It is a tuning fork, a way of aligning your inner frequency with something more stable, more ancient. When practiced consistently, meditation extends its influence beyond the cushion. It makes your waking life feel more lucid. You react less, you observe more. And that presence, the very same awareness you cultivate in meditation, translates seamlessly into the dream realm. Suddenly, lucidity becomes not a rare event, but a natural state. Here's the paradox: the more you let go, the more you awaken. This is why advanced dreamers and mystics alike emphasize surrender over control. When you release the need to force a specific dream or outcome, you invite the dream to show you what you truly need. The universe, after all, is a mirror. Your dreams will reveal exactly where you are out of alignment and exactly what you're ready to understand. If you're willing to listen, you might dream of being lost in a forest, not because you're failing, but because your waking life feels directionless and your soul is asking you to find your internal compass. You might dream of an overflowing river, not to scare you, but to warn you about emotional overwhelm. These are not random symbols. They are precise messages encoded in metaphor, designed by your higher self to guide your next step. When you begin to live in harmony with your dreams, your whole life starts to shift. You sleep not just to rest, but to journey. You meditate not just to relax, but to connect. And you wake not just to go through the motions, but to live with presence and intention. Every moment becomes rich with meaning. Every dream becomes a conversation with the universe. Many who walk this path begin to notice synchronicities that defy logical explanation. You dream of a stranger offering you advice, only to meet someone eerily similar days later who speaks the same message. You see symbols in your dreams, an eagle, a spiral, a crumbling tower, and then encounter them in books, conversations, or even graffiti on the street. These are not coincidences, but echoes of the collective unconscious rippling into your waking reality. Carl Jung called this meaningful coincidence, and once you become attuned, these signs become guideposts on your inner journey. As your practice deepens, your dreams evolve too. They may become less about fantastical control, flying or bending reality, and more about insight, healing, and discovery. Instead of trying to manipulate the dream, you learn to listen to it, to engage with it like a mentor, to ask it questions. You begin to realize that the dream has intelligence of its own, that it's not just your subconscious mind echoing back fears and desires, but perhaps something greater, a dialogue with the deeper self, or even with the cosmos itself. Some dreamers report encounters with luminous beings, entities who radiate calm, ancient wisdom, and seem to exist purely to guide and instruct. Others find themselves in vast libraries filled with glowing scrolls or sacred texts, intuitively knowing that this knowledge isn't just imaginary, it's symbolic access to a deeper truth. Whether these elements are manifestations of your higher mind or visitors from a shared spiritual realm, Their message is the same. You are more than your body. You are consciousness, capable of infinite awareness and growth. To anchor these transcendent experiences into daily life, a simple but powerful practice is dream journaling. Not just recording what happened, but how it made you feel. What themes kept repeating? What symbols stood out? Over time, your journal becomes your personal scripture, a record of your evolution. You may begin to notice patterns, that you always dream of storms before big life changes, or that water represents emotional clarity for you. This is your unique dream language. Decoding it takes time, but the rewards are profound. But even more essential than dream journaling is integration. It's not enough to have profound experiences if they remain in the realm of theory. What insight did your dream offer about your relationships, your fears, your calling? What action will you take because of what you've learned? Integration is where wisdom is born. It's the sacred act of weaving the dream world and the waking world into a single conscious tapestry. And it all circles back to meditation. Meditation is not just a tool for calming the mind. It is a tuning fork, a way of aligning your inner frequency with something more stable, more ancient. When practiced consistently, meditation extends its influence beyond the cushion. It makes your waking life feel more lucid. You react less, you observe more. And that presence, the very same awareness you cultivate in meditation, translates seamlessly into the dream realm. Suddenly, lucidity becomes not a rare event, but a natural state. Here's the paradox: the more you let go, the more you awaken. This is why advanced dreamers and mystics alike emphasize surrender over control. When you release the need to force a specific dream or outcome, you invite the dream to show you what you truly need. The universe, after all, is a mirror. Your dreams will reveal exactly where you are out of alignment and exactly what you're ready to understand. If you're willing to listen, you might dream of being lost in a forest, not because you're failing, but because your waking life feels directionless and your soul is asking you to find your internal compass. You might dream of an overflowing river, not to scare you, but to warn you about emotional overwhelm. These are not random symbols. They are precise messages encoded in metaphor, designed by your higher self to guide your next step. When you begin to live in harmony with your dreams, your whole life starts to shift. You sleep not just to rest, but to journey. You meditate not just to relax, but to connect. And you wake not just to go through the motions, but to live with presence and intention. Every moment becomes rich with meaning. Every dream becomes a conversation with the universe. This is your path now, not just to control your dreams, but to understand them. Not just to float through them, but to explore them with reverence and curiosity. Because within those dreams lie forgotten fragments of your power, your purpose, and your deepest peace. The journey ahead is not easy, but it is worth everything. You are not here to sleepwalk through life. You are here to awaken fully, both in your dreams and in the beautiful mystery of waking reality. So go ahead, sleep with intention, dream with clarity, and rise with purpose. Because you are not just a dreamer, you are the lucid architect of your destiny. As you continue your nightly journeys into the lucid space, something profound begins to unfold. You start to realize that dreams are not just personal echoes of your waking life, but a vast network of shared symbols, archetypes, and insights that humanity has tapped into for centuries. Think of this space like a universal library, where every symbol, every scenario, every figure you meet carries potential messages not only from your subconscious, but from a deeper collective source. Carl Jung referred to this as the collective unconscious, a kind of psychic inheritance passed down through the ages. Within your lucid dreams, you're not only stepping into your personal realm, you're stepping into a timeless stream of universal human experience. Consider this. Have you ever had a dream that felt strangely familiar, even though you'd never experienced it before? Maybe you were walking through an ancient temple or conversing with a wise elder in a language you don't consciously know. These aren't just tricks of the imagination, these are archetypal encounters. In lucid dreaming, especially when merged with consistent meditation practice, your awareness sharpens enough to engage with these figures consciously. And once you do, you can begin asking questions. Not questions like, "Why am I dreaming this?" but questions like, "What lesson are you here to show me?" Or, "What am I meant to understand from this?" The responses, whether symbolic or verbal, can be astonishingly insightful. At this point, lucid dreaming becomes more than an exploration of your mind. It becomes a form of active dialogue with higher intelligence, wisdom figures, or universal consciousness. In many esoteric traditions, these dream figures are seen as guides or messengers from the astral realms. Some are fragments of your own psyche. Others seem to possess knowledge that extends beyond your lived experience. Whether literal or metaphorical, the result is the same: a deepening of your intuitive wisdom and self-awareness. Now let's talk about sustaining this connection. A single lucid dream can be life-changing, but a consistent practice of lucid dreaming supported by meditation can evolve into a spiritual path in its own right. Begin by journaling your dreams every morning. Even when a dream isn't lucid, write it down. Treat every dream like a sacred message. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns, recurring themes, symbols, or characters that have more to say. Pay attention to these. These are the threads that will lead you deeper into your inner world. Combine this with a dedicated meditation practice, even just 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, and you'll find that your dreams become more vivid, more insightful, and more responsive to your waking intention. One powerful technique to strengthen this connection is known as dream incubation. It's an ancient practice where, before sleep, you plant a specific question or intention into your subconscious. You can write it in your journal, repeat it aloud, or meditate on it with clear focus. The question might be, what do I need to know to move forward in life? Or, show me a symbol of my life purpose. The key is to keep it open-ended but emotionally resonant. As you fall asleep, stay relaxed but keep the question at the edge of your awareness. If you enter a lucid dream, remember to recall the question and seek the answer actively. This practice can lead to astonishing breakthroughs, often in symbolic form: a mirror, a staircase, a forest path, all rich with metaphor and meaning. It's also essential to treat your dream space with respect. This isn't just your playground, it's sacred ground. The more reverence you show it, the more clarity and depth it returns to you. Speak to your dream figures with kindness and curiosity. Explore your dream environments with awe, keep an open heart. And above all, when you awaken, make space for integration. Use your journal not just to record, but to reflect. Ask yourself, what lesson did I learn? What truth was revealed? And most importantly, how can I apply this in my waking life? This leads us to the real magic of lucid dreaming, transformation. When you begin applying dream wisdom to your daily reality, your life begins to shift. Maybe you're guided to release a toxic relationship. Maybe you're inspired to pursue a long-suppressed creative gift. Maybe you find the courage to face your fears or the clarity to choose a new path. Your dreams become a compass, not just a mirror. They point you toward your potential. They connect you with your intuition. They dissolve the illusion that you are separate from the wisdom of the universe. And here's something even more beautiful. As your lucid dreaming deepens, so does your capacity for empathy, compassion, and connection. Why? Because you begin to see the interconnectedness of all things. You begin to understand that every dream character is, in some way, a part of you, just as every person in the waking world reflects aspects of your own inner journey. This shift in perception can have a profound effect on your relationships. You become more patient, more understanding, more grounded in presence. Meditation helps anchor this change. It keeps you rooted even as you explore the heights of consciousness. Lucid dreaming also has the power to accelerate healing. In your dreams, you can face past traumas in a safe, symbolic way. You can revisit childhood memories and rewrite them with compassion. You can confront fear and transform it into power. Some people even report healing physical symptoms through dream work, whether through reducing stress, reprogramming limiting beliefs, or accessing energy pathways that influence the body. The mind is powerful, and when directed consciously through dream and meditation, it becomes a tool for radical transformation. But with great power comes responsibility. Lucid dreaming isn't about escapism. It's not about running from reality or controlling every aspect of your life. It's about waking up to the deeper truths within you. Truths that can't be accessed through logic alone. Dreams speak in the language of symbol, emotion, and metaphor. They bypass the filters of the rational mind and connect you directly with your essence. When you listen, when you engage, when you allow yourself to be guided, something miraculous happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to walk through the world with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what challenges arise, you have access to wisdom that transcends fear. And this is where we return full circle. Meditation prepares the mind to listen, lucid dreaming opens the doorway, and your waking life becomes the arena where the insights are tested, embodied, and lived. This trifecta, meditation, dreaming, and integration, becomes a lifestyle, not a hobby. It becomes your spiritual path, a way of walking through the world with grace, clarity, and power. You don't need to become a monk or retreat from society. You just need to commit to 10 minutes of mindfulness, to writing your dreams down, to asking better questions before sleep. Small steps, daily choices, and soon your life begins to feel different. You'll find synchronicities increase, your intuition sharpens, your sense of purpose deepens. You'll wake up not just in your dreams, but in your life. So here's the invitation. Tonight, as you close your eyes, ask a question. Ask to meet your higher self, your inner guide, or a symbol of universal truth. Trust that the answer will come, maybe in a dream, maybe in a whisper of intuition, maybe in the way the morning sunlight hits your window. Be open, be curious, be awake. The universe is speaking to you, and it always has been. The only question is, are you ready to listen?